This is Etc., featuring people and events of Texas A&M University and the surrounding community.
Hi, welcome to ETC. I'm your host today, Leighton Sashery, and today we will be talking about tailgating at Texas A&M football games. Our first guests with us is Austin Decell and Jack Fernandez. Austin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thanks for having us. So my name's Austin Decell. I'm a first-year grad student in the Master of Real Estate program from Sugar Land, Texas. I was a finance undergrad, graduated in May of 2015. This is my buddy Jack.
And I'm Jack. I was originally born in Venezuela, and then I grew up in Sugar Land, and I did my undergrad here. I graduated in 2012, and now I'm a Master of Real Estate student, and I'll be graduating December 2016.
Awesome. So you guys have pretty similar schedules. You're in the same program right now?
That's right. Yeah, so that's kind of the way we worked it out. He lived with my brother in the same house for 3 years, and then moved back in with me when he decided to go back to grad school. So schedules are alike, live together. It's been pretty nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you are both involved in tailgating. You participate in tailgates. Tell me about that.
So back in 2008, when my brother started school here, my parents decided they wanted to do a full-time RV tailgate scene. So we've been doing that for about 6 years now. It's been a little different now that my brother's out of school, and now that I'm a grad student, we've got other obligations in terms of tailgating. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. But yeah, it's great to see the family every weekend. They're here every weekend. So
I just like the environment and the reunion of friends, and obviously the food, and you get to see what everybody's doing and catch up with everybody and have fun, really.
Awesome. So Austin, you mentioned that your family put on tailgates. How did they get involved in that? They just decided they wanted to, or?
yeah, so we were coming to games on and off while I was in high school and middle school, and once my brother was a student here, we knew a couple people that had some pretty good connections, and we're really lucky to get a nice RV spot. And once a couple other families decided to do it, they said, you know, do you want to join the Triangle? And so it's been my family and 2 others for 6 years now, and that's kind of how we got our start.
That's awesome. So Jack, I'm assuming that you attend Austin's family's tailgate. Is it nice showing up and not really having a lot to do? You just show up and have fun?
It is kind of nice, but at the same time, you don't want to feel like that person that just comes over and eats the food, and you know. So you're over there, you kind of make yourself available, you try to help out. We get there early, set the tailgate up, just help with whatever they need, and you know, kind of give thanks for what they're doing.
Right. So Austin, how much planning do you put into it, or do you help your parents out at all with any of that?
Yeah, I like to say I help them out a little bit. The planning is pretty much done on their part. They kind of just get a head count from me with, you know, how many friends am I going to bring, how long are we going to be there, and then they run the food ideas by me every week. So it kind of bounces around. Given, let's say, the Alabama game in 2 weeks is scheduled for 2:30, you know, we do more of a lunch scene tailgate, and so we'll get out there maybe around 7:30 or 8 in the morning, help set up, and then after the game we actually have time to get back over there, take down the tailgates, watch the night games. But it kind of changes. 11 o'clock games are tough. That's more of a breakfast taco kind of last second kind of thing, and then night games is an all-day affair. So it's very dependent on what time slot we get for our kickoff.
Right. So what kind of planning do you have on food? Do you bring the food? Your parents bring the food from all the way from Sugar Land? How does that work?
Yeah, so they bring the food and I eat it. How it actually works is they'll kind of, well, I mean, with their work schedule, they try to bring everything from Sugar Land and bring it up to College Station, and they'll always forget a thing or two. And so Jack and I are the last-minute emergency food shoppers. So, you know, we get ice all the time, bread, extra silverware plates, anything that they need.
Right.
And then once we get there, we help do the whole physical, structural setup, and then we leave the cooking to the adults because I don't want to ruin the food for everyone else. So.
Jack, what's your favorite food that y'all eat at your tailgates?
I think anything barbecue related is my favorite. So brisket, ribs, just pulled pork, any other barbecue staples.
All right. What about you, Austin?
You know, usually I'm kind of distracted by other festivities going on, so I like the stuff that's easy. So if you can just get in line and do a little buffet style and have your tortillas and some tacos or sausage wraps, anything like that. Something that's quick and easy that, you know, can feed a lot of people, I think is best.
Right. So do you guys stay at this one tailgate for the entire game, or you kind of hop around and then go into the game? How does that work?
So we really hop around. We tend to start at Austin's family's tailgate. Then Austin goes to some other friends that he knows. I go to the Master Real Estate tailgate. And it's just all about just meeting people and talking to people in that environment.
Right. Yeah. So you go to other tailgates. Do you go to any fraternity tailgates?
I have a lot of friends that are in fraternities. I've already graduated from undergrad, so most of my friends have moved on, and
right.
I decided to stay in school a little longer. So the fraternity scene is not as much our scene anymore, just because a lot of our good friends have left. But we'll stop by every now and then. I will say that's a little bit more up-tempo scene, for lack of a better term. But as you get closer to kickoff and the energy starts to pick up, it's fun to stop by those tailgates every now and then.
Right. How would you say that your parents' tailgates differ from the other ones that you've attended in undergrad and the ones that you stop by still today?
I'd say the biggest difference is really just the age demographic. It's a lot of family friends. You see a lot of people that you don't get to see a lot of times, so it's most of the time you spend there is really just catching up, telling stories, keeping people informed of what you're doing in school and what your job perspective looks like. But I would say that's the biggest difference. Yeah,
and you have anybody from little kids to grandfathers in there, so it's kind of a different mentality. Where if you go to the Master Real Estate student tailgate, it's about more professors and other students there, so it's just kind of different.
Right. So we've talked a lot about food. Everybody loves food, but what other things happen at the tailgate? What other things do you participate in and do?
We play all kinds of games. Really, for me, I'm a football fanatic, so I'm stuck to the chair, glued to the TV, watching all the morning games. Obviously, if we're the 11 a.m. kick, I don't get to do that very much. But yeah, the Texas game is always on. We like to see, especially these days when they're not playing as well. That's good for us. But we're watching all the SEC teams, really paying attention to the games throughout the day because they mean a lot for our games too for the future.
Besides, the usual beanbag and washers, I like to throw the pigskin around. Takes me back to the old days and playing high school football. So usually we have our friends from our old teams in there.
So what would you say is your absolute favorite part of game day, the tailgate? Within the tailgate, what's your favorite part?
I'll give a cliche answer and just say the energy. Where our setup is, we're right next to Reed Arena. The Hullabaloo truck is always driving by, blaring the horn. We've got music pumping. People are stopping by from here and there, and you're just seeing a whole lot of people. And there's just nothing like being in College Station on game day. The atmosphere, just knowing that we get to see our Aggies play another game is pretty special.
Yeah, definitely the Aggie spirit and seeing the Aggie spirit come to life, and then just that environment with your family, with your friends, and being able to share those experiences with them, and then obviously having the football game as the culmination of all of that is pretty special.
So you two are master's students. Do you still have sports passes? Where do you usually like to have seats when you're actually inside the game?
Yeah, so the parents are still paying for the sports pass, so I took advantage of that. So we actually both worked in the athletic department. I worked the last 2 years. He was the last 5 years. Yeah. So this is the first year in 2 years that I've been able to actually go as a student to games. So
wow.
Definitely took advantage of the sports pass. Our preference is to sit like second deck, first row, 50-yard line. I mean, that you get to see the play development. That's more important to me sometimes than being close to the action. But yeah, definitely did the sports pass and definitely second deck. That's where we like to be.
I still work with athletics, so I still go on the field and kind of sit behind the benches. I'd like to go to both benches and see kind of what their game plan is, and it's another different perspective of the game. But obviously, there's nothing like the student section at A&M, so I try to attend one or two games in the student section just for the atmosphere alone.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. That's about all the time we have right now. Stay tuned. Next, we're going to talk about the benefits of tailgating. Time to do